Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 253 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekly edition, and I'm standing by my router here, but that's just to fool you. We're going to be out there today using stuff like this. If you want to see what I'm up to, all you need to do is stay tuned. Yes, we'll be working with Velcro a little bit today, but that's not the main thing we'll be doing. I'd love to be working in my shop, but those projects I got to save more for winter because to pardon or to use an old expression, I need to make hay while the sun shines. Unfortunately, the sun has not been shining that much lately, so I'm a little bit behind when it comes to shooting this video and had to make some changes to my day today to try to get it done. So basically, I'm out working on the lumber storage side of my grandkids' clubhouse. So their clubhouse is up top, it's the attic area. And then down below, there's two 3-foot by 12-foot sides that they're covered by the attic. And I'm going to use them as efficiently as I can with material or with things that don't really need to be in a building. For example, if I get fresh lumber from my suppliers, if I put it in a building right away, there's a good chance, especially with our local jack pine here, that that's going to turn blue. It's going to be blue all the way through. So that's something you really want to try to avoid. But with my new system of storage, you saw my lumber racks already. And if you didn't watch that video, shame on you. You need to watch that. But the lumber racks are in there. I've got all my leftover wood from the years on there. And I needed to put a cover on it. But I wanted that cover to be retractable because I don't want my lumber trapped in a building. So now, and you'll see it as I walk you through it today, the project that I worked on this last couple of days is the tarp that covers that 12 by, I'd say, about 6.5-foot side. And that's now covered with a tarp. Plus, I have the two doors at the end that are kind of the walls, but they're fold out walls. And if I want to move air through there, I have a couple of choices. I can roll up the tarp. If I don't want to do that, I can open the doors. I can dry that material properly. Now, on the other side, the house side, I'll talk about it, I think, a little bit at the end of the video, but I want to set some things there that we need to run our household. For example, the generator. I like to be prepared for things. So a number of years ago, we bought a big generator. And thankfully, when my electrician hooked up my house for the generator, we put in a Generlink. And I can run my whole yard, like not all at the same time, but there isn't a dedicated circuit. Like I don't have an auxiliary panel that I just have a few circuits that I can access with the generator. Mine plugs into the main uh, meter socket, and I can turn on anything on the yard, which is amazing. So I can come into the shop and I could do little things in the shop. I don't know if I'd want to run a lot of heavy equipment in here because my generator may not handle that load, but it handles everything just fine. So we want to make that easier to hook up. And there's a few other things that are more yard and garden related that are going to go in there, and probably a couple of jigs that I've built too that don't seem to fit anywhere else. But that storage system under there, I think, is really unique, and it doesn't count. As far as I know, it doesn't count as building space. So that's kind of cool, and I kind of needed that. So anyway, we're going to put one of the tarps up and cover that one side where my lumber storage is, and basically, I'm just going to walk you through that. So hang on. I kind of did everything before I brought you in, because I find it really, really difficult to try to shoot video and work at the same time. I find I don't focus the way I'd like to. So you're going to see what I've done after it's done, which is fine too, because it's not rocket science here. It's just how I did things. So anyway, we're not going to hold you up any longer. Let's get out there and see what I did. Well, here we are. It's a bright sunny day, and this is what this area looks like before anything's done to it. One of the things I didn't show you last fall is I got the metal corners on, and that was a good start. And then of course we had some Velcro problems. So, but this is what it looks like before I start. And let's just head around to the other side quickly. We'll just and get into the shade too. I'm looking directly into the sunlight. Really hard to shoot properly doing that. Okay, here we are. And I have one stage complete already. I have the building paper on, just the bottom. Like, I really only care about the very bottom here, because I want to put these trim pieces on that are going to hold up the curtain. So that's, I just finished putting 60-minute paper. That's what it's called. And I call it that. Nobody seems to know what that is. But you can kind of see right up there. I hope you can see it. It says 60-minute building paper. And in order to have things very secure with 60-minute paper, they recommend 2 layers of it. So I've put 2 layers on here. I didn't quite have enough to roll it out twice, so I had to cut strips and put the last piece in that way. But the trim piece is going to go over that, and then there's going to be a drip cap that goes over that as well. And then the whole building, all the way up there and everything, that's all going to get 2 layers of paper and the stucco wire, because I'm hoping this summer yet to be able to put the concrete on this building so that I can finally have protection. I really like this building paper. When we were framing, when I was building addition to our house, there were lots of, well, it's always, I'm working by myself, so it's slow. So in one summer, I subbed out the concrete because I don't have connections to do that, or I didn't then anyway, and I don't now. But I did, so the concrete was done and finished by the time July 1st rolled around. So I get out of school and I start framing right away. And I basically framed and sheeted, and I think we got windows in that first year. And but the doors had to wait because I had to build them. So, but that fall, I didn't get time to shingle, so I bought a big tarp from Princess Auto, put that on the roof and put straps on it, or nailed it down, put ledgers across to hold it. That worked out really good, because in spring we took that off and in summer we shingled. Well, in spring we waited till we shingled, and then we took it off just before we put shingles on. But on the walls, I had that protecting my spruce plywood walls for 2 years with just a double 60 building paper on it. That sheeting was like new underneath. There was no water penetration. The edges wanted to curl up. That was the only problem. But I am a believer. I think for under siding or under stucco, this is the best you can do. But they want Typar and Tyvek now, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, this segment's getting a little longer than I thought. So there we go. The building paper's on. Now it's time to measure and cut the angles on the trim piece. I will be back when that's done. Well, the next phase is kind of tacked together. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it terribly well with this video angle, but this white board here, this is trim OSB. So it's 5/4, it's got a wood grain, and primer on it, a wood grain surface on it and primer on it, but it's just OSB. And it's technically an inch and a quarter by 5.5 inches. So what I did is I cut miters on both ends of that because I'm going to run a return. Oh, yeah, you can't get in here. Going to run a return around to the front and back of the building. So you'll see that when I do it. It's hard to show. But so I've got my 45-degree angles cut on the end here. Can you see that? Yeah, there they are. And I've got the tarp centered and stapled on 2 inches from the bottom. So I'm hoping that's going to do it. Now I want to test fit it. So the next thing is going to be putting it up temporarily and seeing how the ends fit and doing what we can do. It's really sunny out here, so I'm not getting the best camera angles all the time, but that's what's happening next, and I hope it all works out. Well, it's in the evening, and other than it's really nice to work, other than the fact I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes, but I had some issues before, and I had to redo one thing, but that's not that big a deal. But so I took, this is that white strip, that the inch and a quarter OSB, and I took the tarp and measured it. The tarp is centered in here, and it's about, oh, maybe an inch over the opening that I have split on both sides, so that's a 1/2 inch. That should work just fine. And then what I did is, I don't know if you can see it, but I rolled it up. See, it comes here, it goes around, and there's 1/2 inch plywood in there, 1.5 inch strips of 1/2 inch plywood. And then I mounted it 2 inches from the bottom, so 3.5 from here. And then I screwed it on with some fender washers and some 1.25 inch soffit screws that I had. I have a whole bunch of them, so I used those up. And that seems to be working really good. So I split the tarp in half last year. This is a tarp, and this is the gray side. So what you're looking at is the inside of this thing. None of this will get seen. So, but this is a tarp. I bought it at Home Depot, and I've had it over a year now. I just didn't get to things, and I saw this tarp, and I realized that if I want to do something, I need to, when I think of it, I need to buy it, and I need to buy enough of it, because when I get to it, they won't stock it anymore, and I'll be out of luck. But anyway, so this is done. So now I've got the tarp attached to the header piece. Now I'm going to mount the header piece back on the building. I did actually temporarily mount it just to check, like these corners are mitered here and the other end as well. And then there's going to be a piece that comes across where the steps are, right at the top of the steps by that door that won't close. Yeah, there's going to be a strip there. I'm going to figure that out yet. I'm not 100% sure what that'll look like, but I think I have a pretty good idea. So now the next thing for me now is to hang this up, and I want to try to get that done tonight yet. But I'm finding that with my setup here, like I got all kinds of stuff on the sawhorses there isn't really a good place to put the camera. So I won't show you things while I do them. I'll go around after I'm done. So anyway, that's this stage. Well, there needs to be a rod or something that goes in the very end of it so that there's weight to hold it down. And what I decided to use is I bought a whole bunch of these. Remember these guys? These were from my failed lumber rack attempt that I did last summer. So, and I didn't return them. I maybe should have, but I thought some of the threads from me handling them had been damaged. I didn't feel like returning damaged goods. So I just thought, well, I have all this extra, what is this, 3/4 by 36-inch galvanized pipe. So I thought, you know what, that'd be perfect if I'd put it in the bottom. And unfortunately, I have no way of sewing a loop for it in the bottom. So I made one of these things for a temporary storage shed that ended up lasting like 5 or 6 years. And that worked really well. So I still have that roll up thing. I'm just going to go take a look at it. But I think all I did with that is just tape this in, like rolled it up and put some tape on it, and away we went. So what I'm doing today, it's raining outside, so I thought a good opportunity to put one of these together and see how it works. Now, what I'm planning to do is like this thing is 12 feet long. So that's exactly four of these. I might add another one and have it so it runs by the opening a little bit. And then I could put hooks on the end of the area and lock this in, which is what I want. I want this to be down tight so that there's no chance of wind grabbing it and messing it up. It's also going to get Velcro on both sides, so that should help. But yeah, I think I just bought some connectors a while ago, 3/4 inch connectors, and sorry, 1/2 inch. When I say 3/4, I meant half. Come on. See, I kind of messed some of these threads up a little bit. I didn't really feel like taking it back. And I do have a pipe cutter. I could recut these threads, but I'm hoping that with a little bit of pipe wrench persuasion that they'll go on. Oh, come on, let's go the right way now here. You can tell this pipe wrench was in the shop when I was spraying the paint in here. Yeah, that was an experience, let me tell you. There we go. Yeah, this is tight. Oh, well, I don't need this on very far if it's that tight. I think that's probably good right there. And then all I'll do is take another length. This one threads on. Of course, the one that I'm going to show on video, that's the one that I have trouble with. That's what always happens. Oh, I think that's good enough. So that's 3 lengths. Adding another length is just the same thing. So I'm going to do that. And that gives me 12 feet. I need to decide on what kind of a, oh, you know what I do have? I have some little galvanized pipe clamps. They're 1 foot long and they are useless to me. Hey, that might actually work. Anyway, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to make this exactly 12 feet. Actually, with these couplings and everything, it might be, I'm not sure, maybe a tad less. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll just keep going here. I'm designing this on the fly. So if it appears sometimes that I'm unsure of which direction I'm going, that's exactly what's happening. Excuse me. So anyway, I'm going to put another one on, and maybe I'll show this to you again when I'm putting it on the canvas or the vinyl. So that way you can see how I plan to use this. Okay, let's keep rolling. Okay, well, we've had a rainy day today, so I didn't get to work on this really at all today. The only thing I did do, the previous video or clip when I was working on wrapping the tarp on the top to fasten it to the inside of that white strip there, I made the mistake. It was a minor one. I ran that all the way to the corner here. That's where my plywood ended. But I've got, you can see this much here. It's about 6 inches. I need it to be back from that. So I cut it back, oops, sorry, cut it back about 7 inches and just took the plywood out and then blended the tarp in. So I think it's nice and tight there now and it fit perfectly. This white stuff here is, see if I can find a piece of it here to show you, is basically just OSB. It's 5/4 or inch and a quarter uh, OSB with a textured painted finish. Now I might have shown you that in an earlier clip, and if I did, please forgive me. But very pleased with the way that curtain is hanging. One of the problems I have with this particular building or this lumber storage is there's no precedent for this. So I'm kind of designing as I go. But I could live with that. The white board there, that it kind of acts as a trim piece. Not sure if it's going to stay white in the final issue. I don't. I think once we get everything done on this, I'm going to paint that a different color, probably some type of a brownish tan or whatever. Uh, but it's really nice and straight, and the tarp is well held by it, so I'm really happy with that. Now what I need to do is put the Velcro on, and I think I'm going to run. I put some of that galvanized pipe together, and I showed you that, or I have a clip of it. I'll show it. Maybe I haven't shown it to you yet. I'm not sure what order I'll put it in, but I put that together with some unions. There you go. And they're 4 pieces, and it hangs over the end just a little bit, which will make it so that I can maybe make some kind of a hook system on the end there so it fastens the tarp down. And then I have the prickly part of the Velcro installed already. And once I can get this nice and tight, I'm going to put the other Velcro on here, pull the protector for the glue off, and then stick it on. So I'm hoping to get this nice and tight. A little tighter than this would be good. But just to kind of give you an idea of what this is going to look like, why don't we, sorry about the camera angle here, I'm moving things while I'm shooting. Why don't we show you what it looks like from the inside? Those lights that my electrician friend had me put in, they are awesome. Like, you can see everything in here. I've got my stickers in here, so when I get more wet wood, which I'm thinking I probably need to order soon, this wood doesn't look like much after it's sat outside for a while, but you run it through the thickness planer, it's awesome. And that birch is second to none. It's awesome stuff. But so yeah, this, and you can see the way I did the top there, that seems to be working out really nicely. But yeah, I think this is coming along fairly good. I will put the Velcro on. I don't think in this video I'm going to get the attachment for that bar down at the bottom. I need to do some thinking and probably some plasma cutting for that as well. So, but I think we're going to get the tarp in, we're going to get the Velcro on and have it fairly nice and snug. And then this will roll up. And I'm not sure, I think for now I'm just going to roll it by hand. But I know on YouTube there are videos of how to make a rope pull that you can roll that up. So maybe down the line we'll do that. But for right now, I just want to get this covered and looking the way it should. So anyway, yeah, very happy with that. Thankfully, I have light out here to work. It's getting a little darker in the evening now, but this is all going to work out really well. So we'll come back with the next step. Well, I've got the bottom pipe that I put together in a previous section of this video. I've got that installed in the bottom. Um, in hindsight, maybe I could have rolled it the other way so the brown was on the outside, but I'm not terribly concerned about that. The only thing I'm gonna have to revisit this again is the one thing I did do. I don't know if you can see. I'll bring you in closer. I've got this bolted to the pipe here with 1/4 inch bolts and washers and nuts. But I think I'm a turn out at the other end, at that end there, because the measurement from here to my whiteboard is less here than it is there. So I think I'm going to look at that yet, but not today. I'm going to get this finished today. You can see the wind still gets under there, even with that heavy bar in there. Like that is 4 pieces of 1/2 inch, 36-inch galvanized pipe. So if I ever need a pipe clamp, I guess I could come here. But it hangs over just a wee bit, and I'm going to make something that, here, let me show you this. I'm going to make something that drops over there like that and holds it down and against the building. So, but that's going to come later on. Right now, my focus is I just want to get this done so that it's done. And that way I can, if winter comes and this is as far as I get, I roll it down and we're happy. So the only thing left to do yet is to attach the Velcro. Now the sides here, I should show you this. I showed you this before. I had Velcro on these ends all the way up down, 1 inch wide Velcro. And what I've done already is I've stuck the other side to it. And when I pull this shiny tape off, or this shiny piece off, I'll stick the tarp on there, and that's hopefully the way it's going to stay. So hopefully that's going to work out right. The tarp that I'm using, this is the hook and loop system that I'm using. So I got this on Amazon, and yeah, I had to reorder it. It's a long story. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those tabs off, and I don't really have a good way to video that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the tab, stick it on, and then I'm going to bring you back to see it. Okay, so we'll be back in a little bit. Well, the hook and loop is on. The Velcro, it seems to work really nicely. I haven't rolled it up yet, but I'm going to do that right away. So let's see how that works. It looks like it's working perfectly. There we go. Yeah, that's going to work. Yeah. Yep. So the Velcro works great. I only rolled it up about halfway, and the reason I did that is my 1/4 inch bolts that go through those 5/16 holes, they're out about that much past the nut, about a 1/2 inch, and I want to cut and smooth that off so I don't rip the tarp. That's why I didn't open it all the way. I forgot to do that, but basically we have the rough, it's a little more than rough. There's a couple little odds and ends to take care of, but I think this is going to work fantastic. So anyway, you know what? I got that tarp finished on one side, It's kind of like all my projects here. I finish one and then it sits for a while, but this can't. Now, on the other side, like remember, I have two sides like this. So that side, the far side, is lumber storage. I'm going to talk to my birch and pine suppliers in the near future here and order a little bit more wood because I'm expecting to be teaching classes again next year. And I have to order in advance. But on the house side, where I'm going to move my generator into there so that my goal is to make our place and house as easy to live in and work on as possible. So if my wife should happen to have to get the generator moving and hooked up to the house and all that stuff, I want that to be as simple as possible. And my electrician neighbor has come up with some ideas that are going to work great. And I may walk you through what we did after it's done. I don't think he cares to be on video a whole lot. So, and yeah, it's hard to shoot that anyway. So I can explain what we do. And the other thing is I've got some jigs I need to store in there. So the racks will look different. And I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do that yet. So that's going to happen as well. But the rest of it's going to be exactly the same. There's going to be a roll-up tarp that covers that side. And the doors, the ends, I haven't got them finished yet, but I've been ordering material for that. So that's going to, when it all gets here, we're going to do that next. And I'll show you that as well on video, at least one door. And we're slowly getting that bottom part done. And I really like it. I think it's quite a unique idea. Now, I haven't seen that before, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been done. Somebody out there somewhere that looks at this video eventually and says, well, I did that 40 years ago. Well, big deal. And that could well happen. But I'm happy with the way this turned out. If the tarp doesn't last very long, it's a common tarp that I bought at the orange store. And I can go there and I can buy another one like it and cut it in half and put it back up again. But I expect I'll get a few years out of this. So, and to go, maybe if this works really good, I'll go to a heavier tarp system. But for now, this is going to be good. I already like the way it keeps the lumber dry. The overhang itself does a lot, but with tarp on the front, everything's going to be good. And if I want to leave the tarp open or the tarp down, I can open the doors on the ends and get ventilation through. So for drying lumber, I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be good. The only thing is it could have been bigger. But you know what? Maybe it's time I start limiting what I do to the storage space that I have. I think that's going to become a theme in my life in the shop here as we move forward. So I need to go through everything, get rid of some stuff, and hopefully, eventually, I can live within my space needs. So anyway, that's what it is. I think it looks great. I'm quite pleased with it, and I'm patting myself on the back here. But and it did work out fairly well too. I've only got a little bit of a problem with the top or with the bottom, like that where I put my that rod in. I think I need to wrap one more wrap on the far side, but I'm going to play with it a bit. I'm going to cut the bolts off. I'm going to get everything done, and then we're going to see what happens. So, and I need to make a loop to hold it up yet, and that's going to happen. And I think eventually what's going to happen, if this thing works really good, I know I've seen them on the internet where I can make some kind of a pull rope system to lift it up. So I think that would be good. And I'm going to be going back there yet. So in the future, next month or so, if the Velcro isn't working or if something isn't the way it should be, I'll let you know too. So anyway, not that I expect you to copy what I did, but if you can steal some ideas from this, and please, if you're going to do something like this, put it on the internet, because I want to steal ideas from you too. So with that in mind, that basically brings this chapter to a close. Uh, yeah, shooting outside. It rained yesterday, and today we're mowing. It's just you got to shoot when you can shoot. So anyway, but with that in mind, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about this if you have friends, and thank you for watching. And with that, on that note, we will see you for the weekend edition. Take care out there.